Hey, how we doing on this Monday? This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports channel. Early this morning, and I mean like around midnight, it seemed like Tennessee gets huge news in baseball. Landon Mack, former Rutgers pitcher, has committed to Tennessee. Posted it on his social media last night. Make sure you hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. I appreciate all your support here along the way. This is a big one because there's a lot of questions about with so many pitchers hitting. There's literally four returning pitchers. Now, I'm not counting the guys that are going to the draft right now because we're factoring in, all your main guys pretty much, except for Coons and Krenzel, will be going to the draft from last year. And, of course, speaking of Coons, another thing to be fired up with him, pitching for Brewster yesterday, looked really good in that game. I think he gave up one run, 4 innings. I'm trying to think what he ended up, 6 or 7 strikeouts. I'd have to go back and look again, but he looked really good yesterday, and he did it. He made Jaron Advincula look bad, and there's some other pretty good ball players on that Cotuit team as well. But talking about Landon Mack, though, now you've got the makings of a pretty solid looking weekend rotation in whatever order they go with Matt, Coons, and probably Krenzel would be my guess on those three. Now things could change depending on who makes it to campus, but I still maintain I don't think Matt Barr, I don't think Clay Edmondson make it to campus. Mason Estrada will be an interesting one to see, but now you've got, I don't think things look too bad. You need more pitchers. But, the max you're probably going to carry is 18. And if you have two-way guys, that could change as well, which Tennessee does with Blaine Brown now, which they got from Rice last week. But now, Matt coming in 6-5 last year, 4.03. He was all Big Ten freshman team. He was second team freshman All-American by Baseball America. He threw 80 in the third inning, struck out 70. Walked 19 along the way. Coming out of high school, he is from New Jersey. Worked out pretty good this past year with New Jersey with some Northeast natives, and hopefully that will continue here as well. Looking at it too, the big thing with him is he's a rising sophomore. He has 3 years eligibility, but he's not draft eligible for 2 years. So if everything goes right with him, we get him for 2 years. And that could be really big for Tennessee because next year Coons is draft eligible. Anson Siebert is draft eligible as well, depending on what his role is. And Brady Frederick, Bo Rudy, those guys will be draft eligible as well. But Tennessee's got the looks now of a pretty solid looking pitching staff. They need more. They need left-handers. They still don't have any left-handers other than Brown. And I think Brown's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But he only threw 4 1/3 innings last year, so I think those numbers are, they're pretty massive, but in that small of a sample, we'll see. Tennessee now has their 9th commitment from the portal. Of course, 25 are going out. The big thing we're going to be looking for is 2 weeks, All-Star game. That's when the Major League Baseball draft happens. I still maintain you're going to lose Doyle, Phillips, Arvidsson, Snead, Franklin. Those off the top of my head. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. And then, looking at most of your lineup, you're going to lose your outfield. Really, your only starters in the starting 9, including DH, at the end that'll be back is Manny Marin and Levi Clark. And Clark, from what I've seen, is doing really well up in the Cape Cod League as well. So that's another positive sign for Tennessee. Last I'd seen, Braden Krenzel was throwing pretty well also. Haven't seen any other numbers, but try to get that later in the week. But now you're looking at Tennessee has added, and again, there's numerous guys that are draft eligible. And I talked about Blaine Brown being a 2-way. You also got DJ Newman, former Bowling Green guy. He's draft eligible. So I've not seen him listed, but that doesn't mean a team doesn't take a chance on him at some point. I still maintain, while people were, and rightfully so, people were kind of freaking out over all the portal departures. I don't know. I mean, you look at it as far as the pitchers, all of them that left, other than Dylan Loy, who gave you anything in SEC play. And not to say there wasn't some talent left. There most certainly was. But again, other than Loy, I don't really know where you, at least based on last year, where you had a huge loss at. Now, some of them may turn out to be pretty good. I've seen like Michael Sharman committed to Clemson, I saw. There's been some others I've talked about as well, have gone other places. But this Tennessee team is setting up now. I still think they need left-handed pitching. That's going to be a must. Now, something to look for as well is who makes it in out of the high school class. After that, then you can, I still maintain that there's no way they're going to be able to take all the commitments they have from the high school class, not with that 34-man roster. I just don't see it happening. But it's a new day, and I don't know if there's any, based on everything I read, it is a strict flat 34 that they can keep. So that remains to be seen on how it happens and, who will be back. But it'll be a lot of new names as far as, you'll have guys you're a little familiar with: Coons, Krenzel, Clark, Marin, Abernathy, Newstrom. That's going to be your core. And then, some of these other freshmen that maybe didn't play much last year that are still around, they'll be a part of it. Ariel Antigua is still there looking at it. We'll see how it turns out, but I think we got to be pretty happy with that. And Mack was a big one. He was a big one for Tennessee. I'll let you know if I run across anything else on it, but I know Tennessee's busy. I've not heard of any other visitors recently, but from what I've seen, they're still looking for an infielder as well as a Dinkula committed to Georgia Tech. So we'll see where they go. There'll be more names pop up. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. I'll see you when I see you.